We are now turning it over to a young lady that is wearing a fancy hat, Miss Katie Howell.
You're probably why I'm wondering this ridiculous hat. Last year I got this from the lovely Tamara Agger, and it is a tradition. It's actually older than me. It's 18 years old. 18 years ago, Ruth Hoffman wore this hat, and she was the accompanist for You're a Good Man, Charlie Brown. That year, at the theater banquet, she gave this hat to Kathy Yarman because she had poured her heart and soul into the show and wasn't really appreciated for what she had done, thus starting the Miss Goodman Award. Each year, the hat is passed down to a sophomore girl who works her butt off, but never really gets recognized for what she's done. She may be a chorus girl who never gets any lines, someone in business who exceeds beyond the normal greatness that exists in business, or a techie that goes to work every day but never gets a head position. Now, one thing you should know is don't be fooled by the title Miss Good Enough. We have had two boys in the past receive this award. Now, to awarding it for tonight. No lie, I was confused, and there were so many great sophomores. I had no idea who to give this to up until about 3 p.m. today. I was a complete loss and was going around asking people, do you know who I could give this to? They're all just amazing, I can't choose. And then I was about to give up when Jackie and Abel gave me the name of who's going to be awarded tonight. This is a girl who's done so much for theater, and I immediately felt like such an idiot for forgetting her name. And I guess I forgot because I always thought of her as an upperclassman because of her maturity. If I had to define this girl, I would have to take off all the bad negative words in the dictionary and then hand it to you, because that would be her. She has such a great outlook on life and is always completely positive attitude. And that's why this year's recipient of Miss Good Enough is Miss Maddie Brady. You're going to have to wear this tonight and next year, and in this box, actually, the original box fell apart last year, but still, we still have it. So there's a picture, and everyone's wearing these pictures.
We have a number of students this year that have served in leadership positions, and the first group that we're going to acknowledge this evening are those that applied and were chosen as the student directing team for each of the main stage productions. And this is a huge task. First of all, I think they realize when they have to show up to every single rehearsal, when normally you only show up to the scenes that you are in. Well, the student directors quickly find out, well, that means you're here for every single rehearsal, and they put in hours. They are leaders for the whole company. When the show goes up, they're pretty much helping run the show. And they are backstage helping, making sure people are where they need to be, and they just do task after task and really help the shows get going. So what I'm going to ask right now is if all this year's student directors will please come up on stage. And then we can give them one more big round of applause. First of all, for Aida, Claire Myers. A big round of applause to the end of all these, that'd be appreciated. And for also for Aida, Miss Roxanne West. For Orpheus Descending, George Dahlman. Also for Orpheus Descending, Kim Stafford. For the Curious Savage, Devin Hartwig. And finally, also for the Curious Savage, Maddie Brady. This is an amazing group. This is a group that has put in so many hours and has really led each of our main stage productions to success. Thank you all very much.
It is now my honor to recognize our student business directors. This is a job that I think has really grown in stature. I always say it, but I'll say it again. When we got adjudicated for How to Succeed last year, one of the things that they said was, the first thing that we noticed about coming into your theater was that it wasn't adults that were taking care of us. This was students that ran everything. It was students who were giving us a ticket, students who were making sure we knew where our seats were. It was students who were doing the concessions. Our students take care of all the publicity, the advertising, making sure that everything runs smooth, and making sure that we do fill this beautiful auditorium so that people can see the amazing work that we do. And I think most schools, there's a lot more, it's mostly more faculty members that take care of this job. I mean, it's a lot of responsibility, it's a lot of money. And speaking of money, this was a record-breaking year for business. We've got some amazing business people, and for AIDA, we made over $13,000 in ticket sales. When you're selling tickets that are only $9 a pop, that's a lot of tickets, all right? They definitely brought the people in to see that show. It was an amazing show, and they were able to do that. They definitely did that. We broke into video advertising. So if you would please come up and recognize Nikki Yusan, as well as CJ Mitchell, who's business director 2 times.
Recognize student tech directors. It's been a really exciting year tech-wise. 3 awesome sets, I felt, and 2 student tech directors were a huge part of making those sets work out. The moving lights are exciting for AIDA. The jukebox, which is a keeper for Orpheus Descending, and of course the slide. How can you forget the slide? Which is hiding, but is still intact. And I still felt it was necessary to keep the bars from the windows from the last show as well, for Curious Savage. I'd like to recognize our student tech directors. For AIDA, Elliot Johnson. For Orpheus Descending, Brian Papadopoulos. And for Curious Savage, Rob Anderson. Come on.
For our first production of the year, for AIDA, we also have the chance to have student leaders in the art of dance. and this year was no exception. We had 2 girls working in coordination with one another, one as our student choreographer, Ms. Eden Zeidman, and one as our dance captain, Ms. Erica Steffen. So if they can both come on out. We'll make sure that Eden does receive her award later. Thank you. And now back to Mr. Moran.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, we do have an amazing theater club here, as seen by websites like Wikipedia, where we're even recognized for our theater club, which is pretty incredible. Not only do we put on 3 amazing main stage productions a year, not only do we do the Black Box Show, the student-written, student-directed productions, we also have something that, as far as I know, no other high school has. We have an improv team, all right? These guys are incredibly dedicated. They've been getting together, working at their own homes every Sunday, rehearsing, and they just recently had a show. It was incredible. The kids that went to go see it raved about it. They said it was hysterically funny. I remember Mr. Fox and I were going, you know, one more play, you know, did they really work hard enough? Did they put this thing together? Did they do it? And it went off, it was a hit. It was just a phenomenal job. So I'm now going to recognize all of our members who were in that one group for their amazing work and the incredible production that they had. I'd like to recognize Ellie McIlvain, James Hartnett, Nate Sivak, Kathy Dorn, Roxanne West, John Kalita, and Andrew Van Gore. Please come up here.
An event that does not take place here on the stage, but also speaks to what Mr. Moran was earlier mentioning, and that is a completely student-run endeavor, and that is our Black Box production. This is something I'm just so proud of, in the fact that not only do we have students, of course, acting in it, but we have students that are directing it. And another thing that I think is just especially exciting is we have students that wrote the plays themselves. And it's really just a wonderful event, bringing all these different talents together to bring 2 different shows to life. And first of all, we're going to go ahead and acknowledge the lady that kept everyone on track, that worked along with our student directors, and that was the stage manager of the Black Box Show, Ms. Meredith Chinesky. Everyone send her healthy vibes. Now we had, I think for our Black Box Show, I think we had a larger cast than we had even on the main stage. We had just an incredibly large number of very talented students when you combine the 2 shows. And the 2 plays were Always, Always, and It's About Time. I asked our student directors, who will be acknowledging in just a few moments, to come up with 2 names per show. And it was hard to narrow down to just 2 names because, as I said, there were such good-sized casts. But they took on that task and gave me 2 names per show of outstanding actors or actresses. And the first name for the show, It's About Time, Caitlin Conti. And second for It's About Time, Andrew Irwin. You must both be very busy acting elsewhere. For the second show, Always, Always, we have Phoebe Borkowski. We'll make sure to get those other deserving actors their awards. And now we're going on to our playwrights. Once again, this is an event where we work on each of the main stage productions. And for Aida, Roxanne West and Sean Reardon are going to be presenting those.
Hello. So although we're recognizing the best in cast, crew, and business for AIDA, we'd like to take a moment for everyone who participated in either cast, crew, or business for AIDA to stand up and be recognized, since all of you make the show such a great success.
Our first award for Best Production Head for AIDA goes to Miss Katie Howell.
And now, the award for Best Business Head goes to Melissa Zelka.
The award for Best Technical Head goes to Nick Kraft.
Best Female Debut, Erica Harris.
The award for Best Male Debut goes to Alex Cooper.
The award for Best Female Ensemble, Maddie Brady.
The award for Best Male Ensemble, Paul Nicholson.
Best Actor goes to Connor Owens.
And the Best Actress for AIDA, Jacqueline Ortiz.
And this year's Slate Award winners for Aida. We now turn it over to Jacqueline Ortiz for the Slate Awards for Orpheus Descendant. And Parks. Imagine that Parks is Nick Agro with him.
Hello, my name is Jacqueline Ortiz.
And I'm Nick Agro. And we would like to present the awards for Orpheus Descending.
Will everyone that participated in Orpheus Descending this year please stand up and be recognized?
For Best Technical Head, Elliot Johnson.
The award for Best Production Head goes to Nick Davis.
Best Business Head, CJ Mitchell.
Best Supporting Actress, Kathy Dorn.
Best Supporting Actor, John Kalita.
The award for Best Actress goes to Erica Steffen.
And for Best Actor, Zach Carlstrom. One more round of applause for all Orpheus Descendants.
Let's go ahead and now bring out Maddie Brady and MC Benich to give the Slate Awards for the Curious Savage.
You participated in this wonderful show. Could you please stand up and be recognized?
The award winner for Best Technical Head, Brent Austin.
Best Production Head, Nate Riggs.
Best Business Head, Erica Steffen.
Best Female Debut, Claire Fay.
Best
Best debut was a gender-free award. So, Claire, sorry you're not best female debut, you are our best debut. All right. We now go on to the awards that were voted on by the theater board, which take into account all the shows of the year. And then from there, look at who has earned the designation of the following. And so, if I can get some assistance from Mr. Moran. For the most dedicated business member, Mr. C.J. Mitchell. Most improved actress, Tamara Agger. And naturally, the most improved actor then, moving on to the next award, is Mr. Sean Reardon. Most versatile technician, Brian Papadopoulos. Most versatile actress, Melissa Zelko. Most versatile actor, Andrew Van Gorn. And the woman that really embodies all of the different assets of the theater club, working on helping with the football concessions, helping with all areas of production, from acting to business to tech, just gives tirelessly of herself. Mrs. Teresa Novak. She's this year's Best Theater Club member. Now I'm going to bring up Mr. Parks Payton to show and introduce our newest thespians.
Before our awards night tonight, we inducted 20 new members into Troop 233 of the International Thespian Society. So when I call your name, will you please stand up and remain standing? Please wait, hold your applause till the very end. Emmy Barker, MC Benich, Alex Cooper, Michael Crulo, George Dahlman, Nick Davis, Bobby Dixon, Alan Dunlop, Corey Evans, Erica Harris, James Hartnett, Devin Hartwick, Danielle Post, Abby Rifle, Annie Russell, Emily Schlag, Emily Schumacher, Heather Thomas, Nicole Tarkowski, and Jim Tumovich. And now if I can have all thespians rise and turn to the back of your program as we will all recite together the thespian pledge. If you don't have a program, go off. We'll recite it all together. I promise to uphold the aims and ideals of the International Thespian Society, Thank you very much. You may be seated. One more round of applause for our thespians. For those of you that don't know, just real quick, thespians are if you gain 10 points, and 1 point is equal to 10 hours. So that means a lot of work. So congratulations again. Now I'm going to turn it over to Mr. Fox.
So whereas the students that were just inducted into the International Thespian Society put in over 100 hours worth of work, we are now going to acknowledge the seniors who have gone much further in the hours they have put in over their time with Glenbard West Theater. And to earn an additional star with the International Thespian Society, you have to earn at least 10 more points, which is another 100 hours worth of work. So we're going to start with our 2-star thespians that have earned from 20 to 29 points, close to 200 to 300 hours worth of work over their time here. First of all, Mr. Elliot Johnson. Another 2-star thespian, Melanie Studzinski. And CJ Mitchell. And Zachary Karlstrom. Now our 3-star thespians who have earned over 30 or more points, putting in over 300 hours worth of work during their time here. First of all, Brent Austin. Also, Jacqueline Nagel. Our next group are 4-star thespians that have put in over 400 hours of their time during their tenure here. First of all, Miss Melissa Zelko. Mr. Sean Reardon. And Miss Roxanne West. Then that brings us to our next category, and that is our honor bar thespians. To be an honor bar thespian, you have to have put in over 600 hours worth of work during your time here. And what does that get you? Well, that gets you a lot of things from all of us. But that also gets you a $200 scholarship for the time you put in here at Glenbard West. And we have 4 that have put in that amount of time that will be earning $200 scholarships. And lovely official thespian certificates. First of all, Mr. Nick Agro. We will be getting that to Nick, who is at, I think the Catholics have planned an event on the same night, which I'm not very happy about. Being a fellow Catholic, I can say that. All right. Now, going on, we have Mr. Sean Jackson. Now, Sean did have 59.6, but okay, math wasn't my strongest subject, but I do remember if it's over 0.5, you round up. So. Next, Miss Jacqueline Ortiz. thespians. We're earning $200 scholarship and a certificate to commemorate Mr. Andrew Van Gorp. Now, if you look at your handy-dandy senior list, we then go to an individual that is earning an award for the Larry Shue Scholarship. Larry Shue is an individual who is a famous playwright. He wrote The Nerd, he wrote The Foreigner, and many other wonderful plays. The Foreigner was performed right before I got here. And just an outstanding playwright, but also an alumni of this school. And the Village Guild has honored our school with a $1,000 scholarship to commemorate Larry Shue. And by the way, this is the Larry Shue Auditorium, if you haven't seen the plaque in the back. And we were asked earlier to decide on an individual that really puts forward the ideal of theater and really puts his heart or her heart and soul into their years here. And this individual has put in 82 hours worth of work, 82 points, meaning over 820 hours worth of work during his time here. This year's Larry Shue Scholarship Award winner is Parks Payton. And look at the very top of your senior list. This woman has put in over 910 hours during her time here. She is phenomenal, and she was just such a joy to work with from her freshman year when she was freshman rep, all the way through to her just powerhouse performance in The Curious Savage. Let's bring up Miss Tamara Agger. And now we are going to go ahead and I'm going to ask Mr. Moran to come over here and help with announcing and honoring all our officers of this year.
We have special vocabulary here at Glenbard West. We call our technicians the toadies, and someone who has worked in all of our shows, not only doing the things that he was, called upon or required to do, but helping out other people, training people, and just a phenomenal person. Our King Toad this year, Mr. Clay Gilbert. Here we also always elect one freshman to reach out to other freshmen and get them involved in theater, and also to help out with board and to really replenish the stock. Every year we lose lots of good seniors, and we need to keep that going. And someone who's just a joy to work with, so fun, so friendly, so positive all year long, Miss Mary Catherine Bennett. MC. Something every year. All right. Next up, I would like to recognize we have so many awesome social events, and that doesn't just happen by itself. We do need people to organize those events, to get people going to them, to come up with the ideas in the first place. And it's been a great year. And I'd like to recognize Sean Jackson and Maddie Brady. applaud them now for the work that we're going to see a little bit later on. Over the course of the year, we have a couple of kids, they run around with cameras, you might not notice them, or you do notice them, and they go to all of the social events, they go to all of the functions, they go to all of the shows, and they take those shows and they put together a slideshow that we're going to be watching a little bit later on. Keep our fingers crossed, as long as we don't have any technical difficulties. And as well as putting together a scrapbook for all of us. So if you please recognize our historians, Jacqueline Ortiz and Andrew Van Gorp. Something that we always have to do also is to make sure the word gets out about those said social events, as well as all the theater club things that we do in addition to the shows that we do, and we do need to publicize those. And our two publicity heads were Roxanne West and Brian Papadopoulos. Our secretary is a job of, we just recognized all of those kids that have all of those points. Mr. Fox and I, we can't put those points together. We give that to a student, and it's a job where people are constantly going, what about my points, what are my points, and they're trying to get people to turn in their points, and it requires a great deal of organization. Our secretary this year was Sean Reardon. Finally, the money man, taking care of all of our money, keeping it organized, is our treasurer, Nick Agro. Our vice president is truly the job that requires so much organization. And I think not only did this person, do everything that was needed of this extremely rigorous job, she's just an amazing administrator, and I look forward to finding out what she ends up doing with her career. With all of the decisions that we made over the course of the year, coming up with ideas, deciding who was going to speak next when we all had an opinion or things like that, and really, coming to decisions when we all had so many ideas. Just an amazing person and an amazing vice president, Tamara Agger. Finally, the face of theater, the person who represents us as a club, goes to all the other club meetings and represents us, brings in tons of new people, publicizes us, and is really truly the figurehead, El Presidente, the president, Mr. Parks Payton.
For his farewell address, I would like to just make a quick clarification. And Sean Reardon has just done an outstanding job as secretary, and just everything that had to be typed up and organized. He brought you the programs that you have tonight and so many other things, and was just always, the most organized secretary we've had, and just always coming to me and had the slates done for each show. Really did an outstanding job. And Tamara really had the sometimes thankless job, but really kept on top of all the points. So I really thank both of them, as well as all the officers. And now let's bring up Mr. Parks Payton.
Several years ago, West Theater put on a performance of Cinderella. One girl named April decided to try out. This was a big decision for her because she had never done anything with theater before. She was incredibly nervous, but ended up getting the main role of Cinderella. During Hell Week, when they received their costumes, April realized she had a difficult time walking gracefully in her huge ball gown. As the actors applied their makeup on for opening night, April was nowhere to be found. She was at her house in her bedroom. Her father heard sobbing coming from her room. He entered to find his daughter there. He asked, "Shouldn't you be at West right now?" She answered, "Daddy, I don't know if I can do this. What if I trip?" He hugged his daughter tight and said, "April, if you fall, I will come up on that stage and pick you up." This story, along with other traditions, occur at what we call prayer circle. This is not a religious moment, but rather a moment to express your feelings to a group of individuals who care. Prayer is open to anyone and anyone can speak at it. It is a tradition that this story is told every opening night of every show. The tradition was passed down to me from Margot Mackey, who received it from Rachel Schultz, who got it from Bill Dagger. Theater truly is a family. I know it's cliche and overused, but the phrase is cliche for good reason. I've never met a group of people who I love or trust more. I guarantee that all these techies, actors, and business people would not be working together in something like sports. But we somehow come together to create these shows. And I also know that we could never accomplish this unity on our own. The big three, Mr. Fox, Mr. Matz, and Mr. Moran, not only teach us the techniques of theater, but also foster this environment of teamwork and of family. Mr. Matz is possibly the most dedicated adult at Glenbard West. Absolutely every hour in the day for the least recognition. He orchestrates the building of beautiful sets, and when the lights are on in the auditorium, you can bet Mr. Matz is in the booth. And the most amazing thing is, he doesn't do it for a big salary, but he always does it for us, and I cannot thank him enough. Next is Mr. Moran, who joined us my sophomore year and came in with a bang. According to many of the girls, at the time, he was the new energetic hottie teacher. Well, until Mr. Mr. Nice came to West. Mr. Moran brings more passion and energy to his job than any other teacher I have experienced. He has transformed our business division, and if any of you saw Orpheus Descending this winter, yeah, he can direct too. Finally, I would like to point out Mr. Fox. Above all, I respect him as a mentor, a teacher, and an inspiration. If you ever had the pleasure of working with him or simply having a conversation with him, he is one of the most genuine and caring people I have ever met. He is an incredible individual and director, and I am honored to have worked with him for 4 wonderful years. These 3 men bring hundreds of students together, fostering an environment for friendship within all social walks of high school. So let's give them a round of applause. Indeed, we are all on different paths in our life journey, but somehow we never hesitate to express our deepest fears and concerns with the people here tonight. People that we have maybe only met at the first rehearsal 2 months ago. These are the moments in the set shop when we listen to someone who's having problems at home or social issues at school. We take them on as a company, as a family. These are the moments that I remember for the rest of my life. Don't get me wrong, the emotions on stage are incredible, but do not compare to the genuine moments that I share with all of you. I would like to share a couple of stories from my time in theater that illustrate this feeling of family. At one point during my theater career, a senior, during prayer circle, explained that he never cried after experiencing a difficult family situation. He said he struggled to come to terms with his emotions. He pushed himself to cry, but was never able to express his feelings through tears. As he walked off the stage for the final time, for the first time in years, tears of joy streamed down his face. He was finally able to end his career in theater, and he finally came to terms with his emotions. Countless times, members of the company would enter the prayer circle unable to control their emotions. They would quickly break down as they tried to explain their gratitude to the peers that were the only bright spot in an otherwise dark day. A teary-eyed freshman reaches out to a graduating senior with her paramount appreciation for helping make the difficult transition from junior high to high school and for being her best friend. However, to me, the most powerful moment came when a member of the crew experienced the greatest loss a young man can endure. The night before the last performance, this young man lost his father. Revealing incredible strength, he arrived the next morning to perform in the matinee. The rest of the company had been informed, but remained silent in solemn respect. Before the final show that evening, this brave man, and someone who I am honored to call a friend, stepped before the company and began to express his thoughts. The group absorbed his pain-filled words, admiring the strength of the speaker in the center of the circle. At this moment, I have never been closer to a group of people in my life. That final performance was special because that final performance was for him. For all us freshmen and sophomores here tonight, cherish your moments with this family, but more importantly, cherish the relationships you create here. All these awards are wonderful, but are nothing compared to the reward of a genuine friend. I encourage all of you to open up. Share your concerns with these people. I guarantee you they will listen, and I guarantee you they will help you through it. The most amazing thing about this family is that it's transformed every year. As the seniors depart, a new group of underclassmen is invited in. It's a miracle to see that this group of people change so drastically every year, and yet this open and affirming family remains intact, in fact, growing stronger from year to year. To those who will not return next year, I want to say thank you. Thank you for accepting me the way I am, for being my motivation when my life stood still, and thanks for providing me with 4 years of fantastic memories. To those returning next year, this is the tradition of theater, and it is now your turn to strengthen and continue this family. As graduating theater member Calvin Sadinsky would say before every show, when you can not run anymore, you walk. When you can't run anymore, you crawl. And when you can no longer crawl, someone will be there to pick you up. This is theater, and I will miss every moment and every person here. Thank you for 4 wonderful years, and I wish you all the best on the upcoming years.